MS Paint strikes again. What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're an indie artist looking for an album review and some promo, you can hit up Luke at redmattersite.com. But right now, we are here to talk about this new Jeezy album called Trap or Die 3. And at first I thought this was a mixtape because the first installments of this series were mixtapes, but apparently he made this one an album for whatever reason, and here it is. But you know how it goes, man. There's a very thin line between albums and mixtapes these days, but if he wants to call it an album, that's what we're going to call it, and that's how we're going to talk about it. So this is actually his 7th studio album. Jeezy has been putting in work for a long time, and when it comes to trap rappers, he's actually one of my favorites because I can really remember bumping TM 101, The Recession, just a lot of his earlier projects, and even that Seen It All album from a couple of years ago was a really great Jeezy project in my opinion. I've just always liked his voice, his ad-libs, the way that he raps. Just he has this very unique sound, knows how to pick beats. We all know Jeezy and what he does. But then with his last couple of projects, he did kind of get a bit more political, which I can appreciate because he was trying something new. But he didn't really pull it off that well. Definitely not as well as, say, T.I., who has gotten much more political with his music as of late. So when I saw that this was going to be Trap or Die 3, I kind of got excited that he was going back to that vintage style. And he definitely does here, but at the same time, it's not that really great comeback for the Snowman that I was expecting. It's actually kind of boring as you listen through this album. I really did like that single All There with Bankroll Fresh. Just has this banging production, some nice back and forth flows with Bankroll Fresh. So rest in peace to him for helping make this a fire track. And In the Air, that's the intro song, is actually just a big banger from Shorty Red, man. I really like the way this production builds up, get a lot of deep bass rumbling here, so you can turn this shit up for a trunk slapper. But it's really the production that does most of the work throughout this project because Jeezy's lyricism, not that he was known to be a great lyricist ever, although he could come with those dope boy tales, some stories once in a while, and just, you know, even a little bit of political content like on The Recession, on the song Crazy World, for one example. He actually did that political shit on there decently, much better than what he did on Church in the Streets and that politically correct EP. But what I'm trying to say is that this one is just kind of boring overall. His lyricism is just so bad that even when he admits on the song Never Settle that he's not trying to be Kendrick or Cole, he's just trying to spit that real shit, so you shouldn't compare him. Like, I can appreciate that he's being honest about his lyricism, but that's still not enough to take away from some of the awful shit. Oh man, he says some awful shit on here. There's this one line where he says he talks so much shit, he's got shit-itis, he drops so many hits, he has hit-itis. That is just brutal. There's another one where he says that a girl sucked the skin off his dickhead like Skeletor, something along those lines. That was a really bad line too, and that just sounds dreadful, man. If a girl said to me she was gonna suck my dick till it looked like Skeletor, I'd be kind of scared, but I guess that's a whole other story right there. And on the topic of sex, you get the Sexy song called Sexy featuring Plies. This is just a sex track. And Plies, for some reason, sounds like he recorded his verse in a giant Tupperware container. It just sounds really weird. Once you hear it, you'll know what I mean. I don't know what the hell happened with it. And he's on here just screaming about hashtag clean pussy matters, which it does matter, but it's kind of a cringy line. You know what I mean? Plies always comes with cringy shit, in my opinion. It is what it is. But just all these moments, there are plenty more throughout this. If you listen, you're going to hear a lot of bad lyricism and lines and references. It really does take a lot away from this project. Not that you go into this expecting him to be this lyrical heavyweight as well as, you know, his features, because I did mention Plies, and the other features aren't really that great either. You got Yo Gotti on here just doing his usual thing. Lil Wayne is on Bout That with one of those forgettable auto-tune Wheezy verses. And of course, you get this song with Chris Brown called Pretty Diamonds, where their spitting game at girls is kind of just a thug love, smooth type of track, and they tell the girl that she is pretty like some diamonds, which kind of sounds like something Forrest Gump might say when he's spitting game at a girl. Like, I really don't think that would work if you walked up to a girl and said, damn, you pretty like some diamonds. That shit just does not really sound very smooth in my opinion. So I got a lot of complaints. As you can see, I'm all over the place with this review. And overall, like I said, this was not the return to that vintage Jeezy sound that I wanted. I mean, he did kind of take it back there, but there's nothing here that really stuck out. There's nothing that's overly memorable with the beats, with the lyrics, the content, none of that. Because even if you look at some of his earlier albums, he has songs that really would stick out a lot more. Like I mentioned Crazy World on The Recession. He would have some more sample-based production on some of his projects as well. But this one is just bangers. So if you just want some trap bangers, and you like Jeezy, then hey man, you're gonna like this. But if you're kind of expecting it to be like this great return and Jeezy is really gonna step it up a notch while also taking it back, you're not getting that. So for me, it's a 2.5 out of 5. I wasn't feeling this one too much. I also don't think it's trash. It just kind of is what it is, man. Just a new Jeezy project. I mean, this is his 7th studio album, and it's hard to keep making fire when you're coming with the same damn sound all the time. But it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing with artists, because sometimes we say, man, we wish you would just take it back to that old classic shit, which I did say when he was making those more political records. And he did kind of go back here, but I don't know, maybe that sound is just outdated. It's not really working as well. Just didn't hit me. This album kind of just dragged on. A lot of the songs just seemed like some filler Jeezy, so 2.5 out of 5 seems fair to me. But hit me up in the comments section with your thoughts. Make sure you do all that good YouTube and social media stuff where you like my videos, you share them, you follow me on Twitter, you retweet the videos, and you especially got to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time. And also like the Facebook page. Got to throw that out there.